Greetings, fellow Gothamites. Tiki here,
And BlueDragonFive.
and we're back to discuss season. God damn it! I totally blew it, Dragon. Dragon, can you help me?
And we're back to discuss episode 3 of season 4 of
Fox's retelling of the Dark Knight mythology, entitled "They Who Wear Masks." So join us as we venture into Batman's birthplace
and Explore Gotham.
This is why you write stuff down, folks. So it's been a minute since we've talked about the show, Dragon. I apologize for that. You know, I've been on a cross-country vacation, much like James Gordon takes a vacation in this episode. I sort of took a vacation of my own, and we're a little behind, so we're going to try and get through this one as quickly as we possibly can, but it's a good one. I'm not going to lie. I mean, god darn, David Mizzou, Dragon. Wow, that kid is just firing on all cylinders this episode.
That Mizzou's boy is going places. He really is.
Do you think this is like the pinpoint? Like, I know it's not really that possible. Like, this is like the post-Baltimore Comic-Con phase of Mizzou's performance.
Tiki, I just give the fact these are shot well in advance this first half. I'm going to say
I know. I understand that. Like, maybe they went back for some pickup stuff.
Wishful thinking.
All right. Well, look, Dragon. I'm telling you, when we get to the spring episodes of Gotham, that's when we're gonna have to look for the post Baltimore Comic Con era of Mizzou.
Yeah, we're gonna see if there's any phantasm mannerisms.
All right. So, Dragon, my God, it's been too long. Let's just dive right into this episode. They Who Wear Masks. Really, really good episode, all about Bruce Wayne kind of transforming himself and, a lot of other crazy stuff going on. But first, Dragon, we start in Arabia, 125 AD. What's going on, Dragon?
Yes, so basically we're on the battlefield. We see a battlefield of dead soldiers in Arabia, and this is we reveal Ra's al Ghul. Now, Tiki, I gotta spend a minute on this here for two reasons. One, because of course starting in Arabia, I was expecting this in episode 4, given the title of episode 4. I did not. I knew we were going to get something. I had a feeling we were going to get something like this. I had no idea it was coming this episode. So I started this episode out really excited that, oh my God, we're starting with the Ra's al Ghul flashback as we reveal Ra's al Ghul's corpse, interestingly, is found by this mysterious figure who we don't know anything about this mysterious man quite yet. There are some theories going around there, again, playing with all the bizarre Ducard stuff we had last season, because this guy actually...
Oh, God, don't even say the word Ducard.
No, here, Tiki, just don't worry, it's not going to be Ducard. I'm pretty sure of that, because let's not get into the whole Ducard vote. Well, here's the thing, though, to consider. This guy, he looks more consistent with the Sensei character in the comics, who was a guy who almost rivals Ra's al Ghul in terms of leadership within the League of Assassins. So this guy might actually be the Sensei, even though the shaman character was called the Sensei by Bruce. So that's the only... We're going to see how that pans out. There's something to keep in the back of your mind. Okay? We don't know who this guy is yet. The point is, Raish's body is found. This is Raish at the end of his warlord days, by the way. That's where we're at with Raish right here. He was a warlord, as we're going to find out down the line. Anyway, so Mysterious Man finds Raish, and what we see unfold, and this is interesting, this is kind of some rarely seen stuff with Ra's al Ghul. I think we've only really experienced this once with Raish, maybe even.
Basically, we see him kind of coming to who he is going to be, emerging alive, and just sort of realizing his destiny. This is the moment where Ra's al Ghul becomes Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah, this is the first time Raish is resurrected in the story. That's a story moment. So Raish was dead, and then he was brought back, and he's questioning, what is this? So this wasn't Raish's men kind of bringing him back. It was the first time he discovered the Lazarus Pit. Oh my God, Tiki, I'm never going to stop kind of marveling at how great the Lazarus Pit looks. We finally have it's a green Lazarus Pit, Tiki. We finally have a green Lazarus Pit.
And folks, because I'm not a huge comic fan, I'm just yeah, some cool CG green water, nice.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of glowy. I don't know if they're necessarily using CG on it. Anyway,
I'm glad that you appreciate it, Dragon.
I really do. Now, here's my mini rant, though. Again, I love this episode except for two very nitpicky points. Two, at the beginning and at the very end. Okay, one, as much as some, I love this Ra's al Ghul stuff. I love everything about this episode, except the fact that it starts off Arabia 125 AD. Ra's al Ghul has always been like 600 years old, and in Gotham, I guess we're making him 2,000 years old all of a sudden. I'm just saying it's a really strange choice to me.
I mean, again, as a non-comic fan, that doesn't bother me too much. It's a different show. It's a different take.
Yeah. I think the only thing I'm griping about is the fact that, it's like, I start off the episode, the first watch, like, oh my God, we're doing the Ra's al Ghul intro. Oh, this is great. And then, of course, after the episode, I'm taking it all, and I realize, wait a minute. 125 AD, 600 years. I'm no good at math, but that doesn't add up. It's occurring to me. Oh man, but the episode's so good. How could they get things so right? Yet that one, it's like every Ra's al Ghul story. It's always has that's his subtitle. Ra's al Ghul. He's over 600 years old. I've roamed this earth for over 600.
Well, he's over 600 years old. Over.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, 2,000. Why would you? You know what? My point is, it's saying I think the show is reinventing the wheel on that for a reason, which we will see on basically when to get back on point. I'm going somewhere with this. I think the reason they made him 2,000 year old is so we can connect to this embalming knife. So the embalming knife is going to be kind of a huge item this season, it would seem. So basically, Ra's emerges from the pit as he's discovering, oh my God, and brought back to life what was the meaning of this. And the mysterious man hands him this this curved, old-fashioned embalming knife, which is going to be a huge plot point. And importantly, what's specified here is that he was looking for Ra's al Ghul to be his heir. So this guy was looking for Ra's to be his heir, and the knife is kind of a passing of the torch, it would seem.
And now it's Ra's destiny to find an heir in himself.
Yes, and be free. So it's find an heir and be free. That's the only detail we have about this knife so far. Find the heir, be free.
All right, so that's a very good cold open, Dragon.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of your nitpicky date thing, which
I know, but it's like the first time this has ever been done to you. That's the only reason to nitpick it back. Because he's always like 600 or 700 years old. He's never been 2,000.
All right. So meanwhile, in present day, what's going on with Bruce and Alfred, Dragon? Take us through it.
This is great. We're finally at the. This feels almost like like that prequel Arkham game. It feels almost like Arkham Origins, like a really early Batman, because it's like the proto vigilante. We have a great proto vigilante entrance as Bruce just kind of drops down in the suit and he looks awesome. The proto suit that we established in the previous episode. Bruce is scoping out the docks. Again, this is like classic early Batman. This is classic kind of year one Batman. Batman's starting out before he
yeah, I mean, like at this point, he's practically there. You know what I mean? It's practically year one. It feels exactly like that.
And I mean, again, I was just having. I know it's. I was just having flashes to Arkham Origins because just like you have Batman scoping out the Penguin's men, like the docks and his ship and everything. So this felt so much like that. It just feels so naturally Batman. It's a great place to start out with kind of the proto vigilante era here. Whereas he's scoping out the docks. He's investigating Penguin's big shipment. Penguin's got a big shipment coming in. And again, we have some classic Bruce and Alfred banter about the bulletproof armor. Alfred, I'm wearing bulletproof armor. He says, well, yes, but I think we have this has to be a Batman Begins reference. Yes, the suit is bulletproof, not the mask. I made that mask, Master Bruce. It is not bulletproof, so I'll avoid getting shot in the face.
So I won't get shot in the face, Alfred. Got it.
Yeah. And this, to me, feels... I know they haven't said this is a direct point of inspiration for this season, but I'm looking for, and we're going to, again... Well, when the break happens, we might look into this. The other Scott Snyder story, which is essentially a redo of Year One. It's a 0 Year, which has a lot of kind of banter between Alfred and Bruce like this. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the one thing that's not in Year One. Alfred and Bruce having a banter like this while he's in the field. So, anyway, so Bruce, while he's on he's scoping out the docks, he notices a thief walking into a trap, and of course, Alfred's. Alfred's voicing his objections, like, okay, I'm all for you being playing the hero, Master Bruce, but don't endanger yourself to save a thief. And of course, it's an unfair bout, and Bruce doesn't want to see anyone get killed, so he's intervening despite Alfred's protest.
Now, to be fair, he does not know that it's Selena, right? Because I was kind of confused about that.
He doesn't know it's Selena.
Okay.
So let's see. So basically, Selena, she's wearing a mask too, which is kind of cool, by the way. Selena's also wearing a mask. Again, kind of.
That's the title.
Yes, and again, I like that Selena. What we're doing with her, she is fitting into the year one mold as well. Just kind of trying to make a name for herself in Gotham, like she is in that story, which is kind of neat.
Right, right.
So Selena, she's working for Babs. She has been instructed to steal an item from the shipment. She and Bruce are completely unaware of who the other one is. I mean, again, she gets a glimpse of just someone saving her. She has no idea who. Um, Again, I thought it was a kind of a clever kind of way of obscuring the two with the mask and again fitting into the title. And again, the year one parallel of the two of them. It's like that scene in year one where basically she's like scratching Carmine Falcone's face while Batman's just trying to get evidence on them. It's like, hey, thanks for wasting my night. It's kind of like that moment. So Bruce handles the gunman, and he handles him quite well for a beginner, I gotta say.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And again, I think one of the benefits of starting Bruce so late into the Batman stuff is we have had 3 seasons worth of Bruce training, which, that comes a long way when it comes to believability. You know what I mean?
I mean, you gotta remember, Bruce is kind of running before he can walk on this, because again, these are gunmen. I mean, now he's kind of armed up for the bullets, but still, I mean, taking bullets is a whole other thing in question.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So so Bruce, he's making good work of the gun. He's not again. Importantly, he's not taking them down quite yet. So that's why Bruce kind of gets away by the skin of his teeth on this one. Which, by the way, I'm convinced
it makes enough of an impact to like break up the robbery at least.
Yeah, basically he saves the thief. That was the main objective: save the thief,
right.
which she does accomplish. She gets away. Again, a few bullets kind of came close, but she got away. Bruce, interestingly, he had a little exposed. Basically, he's wearing gloves over the jacket, so there's a little bit of exposed flesh there. And got one of them had a knife, so they cut his wrist, really, a nasty gash on his wrist. And I like to think, Tiki, that's the origin of the gauntlets. That's why Batman wears gauntlets instead of gloves. So he has
forearm dragon. That's clever. We'll see where it goes. I like that.
That's why he has forearm protection as Batman. To avoid more wounds like unnecessary wounds like that. Mm. So they both essentially Bruce and Selena get away empty-handed. That's kind of right. He saved the thieves. Anyway, so now we're down.
Meanwhile, in the Francis Ford Coppola winery.
Yes, we go down south this episode. Not that down south. We go classy down south. We go down south.
Oh! Are you saying wine country isn't classy, Dragon?
No, I'm saying we're going to wine country.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm saying people say down south. Usually, it's not wine country.
That's because wine country's in Northern California, so it wouldn't make any sense, anyways.
I wish they were. I mean, they were a little vague on this. They're kind of. It's either he went to Spain or he went to like a place in Miami.
Spain would make more sense in terms of vineyards, I think.
It's either Spain or it's kind of a. It's basically a kind of a classy, timeless Miami. It's they kind of play with the timeless vibe in Gotham. And if Gotham again, I don't want to bore you with geography. Let's just say theories are that Gotham is kind of in New York or New Jersey, so going down south might be kind of in the Florida, Miami territory. It's unclear. The point is, we go down south. It's a tropical down south. Jim leaves Gotham to reach out to Falcone, which is where we left off with him. And Jim's wearing sunglasses. Yeah.
So, Dragon, I don't know if you caught this, but I love the close-up on the horse head. That's just like classic, bad stuff is going to happen because you're with Italians and horse heads. Oh boy! So,
seriously though, with all the Godfather jokes aside, though, something serious about the Godfather is that Tiki, something you will learn for another show we're doing. Now, Long Halloween, Batman Long Halloween, which of course is a big point of reference for this season. Long Halloween and year one. Long Halloween takes a lot of cues from the Godfather intentionally. It's very much modeled after the Godfather, so it's appropriate. This stuff feels like the section of the Godfather where Michael goes to Italy and he meets Apollonia. Mm-hmm. So I really like that kind of that section of the story. Again, a part of me was almost a little worried in the back of my mind, but again, as this was going on, I was really sold on this. And it's like Gordon going outside.
The setting, the character stuff is kind of hit or miss with me, but we'll get into that.
Anyways, I mean, Gordon, he's arriving. He doesn't know how this is going to go because, of course, let's remember he did shoot Falcone's son. They didn't really.
Yeah, that happened. It tends to piss off angry Italian mob bosses, you know.
Especially fathers. Bear in mind, though, I mean, Falcone did have that line saying, he saw Gordon more as a son than he did Mario. So I mean, but it's like an honor code thing. So I mean, that's why it's iffy. You don't know how he's gonna respond to Jim. So Jim's taking a real roll of the dice on this visit here. Again, it feels very long hauling with the Godfather vibe. We see Jim is very bad at pleasantries, which I thought was hilarious.
God.
Dude, Jim's just this cracked me again. By the way, I love the rare variation of Gordon with sunglasses. We've only seen it like one other time when it's kind of, they kind of go with like a noir old timey vibe whenever someone's trying to leave Gotham, they give them sunglasses.
Right.
When he and Lee were trying to leave Gotham, they were wearing sunglasses, and now Gordon's left Gotham to a sunnier location. He's wearing. Anyway, I don't mean to obsess with it. The point is, Jim's really bad at pleasantries because he's greeting Falcone, and of course
Falcone just absolutely refuses his handshake.
Again, Jim's making the worst small talk in the world. He's just saying, "So Carmine, I've been meaning to see. I'm here to see you. You seem to be doing well. Nice location. Jim, just skip the pleasantries. Let's get down to business."
Jim, you want to go Nick Ford.
Yeah, exactly. Just Jim, he's trying. I appreciate that he was trying. So let's see. Let's boil this down a little bit. So we meet Sophia.
Sophia is kind of the thing in this episode I was most iffy on.
Yeah, I like Sophia. I really do. And then again,
I think as a personality, I like her. It's just like writing wise, I'm like, if they can pull her off well, I'm all for it. It's just I'm questioning how well this is going to go given the history we've had with Jim Gordon love interest. That's the only reason I'm iffy.
That's Tiki. That's absolutely fair, but given this is an important character, Sophia Falcone, she was like, again, she has a big role in the Long Halloween. I got a good feeling about her.
Okay.
So, we'll see it. I'm just saying that's in the book. I don't know how it's going to adapt to the show.
For me, it's just like, to me, my first impression of her was like, she just seemed a little too eager to get with Gordon. You know what I mean? Just like right off the bat.
Yeah. Now again, we'll see.
Mm.
Well, again, I kind of like the instant chemistry. Again, it's two H's, and I absolutely see it.
I didn't think they earned the instant chemistry.
Well, we'll get to we have a scene later, and we'll get there. I'll explain it a little bit. So initially there's some tension. So basically, Jim and Falcon are kind of doing with pleasantries, and Sophia walks up, and of course, again, I love kind of the subtle power move here of Falcon saying, no, she can hear anything you have to say, you can say in front of her. She's aware of all my affairs.
My family don't keep secrets from each other, Jim.
That's the line. So there's a lot of tension and mystique over Mario, like how she's going to react to Mario, and of course, because Mario was her brother.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, Jim is asking Falcone for his help to turn the underworld against Penguin because there's still a lot of Falcone supporters. A lot of mobsters are terrified of Penguin and Gotham. Still, they like the old kind of respectable days with Falcone. And I love this. I love that Falcone can see. I love the perspective we have on John Dahman as Falcone here. I just love what he's bringing. I love we've yet again made Falcone interesting here, where he sees through Jim. He's kind of questioning Jim. Isn't it you who's lost power? Isn't that why you're down here?
Which is pretty true. I mean, even Bullock thinks this is a terrible idea.
Yeah. Let's see. I like this. Basically, he's there because he calls him out on being there because he's lost his power to Penguin. But at the same time, again, I love the layers we're still applying to Falcon even this late in the game. Where Falcone. He's calling him out. He says, I respect the fight in you, Jim. And, he calls him out what he's doing, but he still respects the fight and the fact he has the cojones to come down here and talk to Falcone. But then he reveals, and that I thought was a really interesting plot point. I was really sold. I really like this plot point.
Yeah, it's kind of a bombshell.
I know, man. I really love the layers of this thing. So Falcone reveals that he is dying.
Oh boy!
Hence the move. That's why he's moved down here. Because again, he was in Gotham last season, but now he's had to leave. So I love this idea that basically he's down there. The line that he says that he's down there because for the weather. The weather is better for his health, and basically he can't be in the polluted kind of scum and villainy that is Gotham anymore. Doctor's orders, and I love the idea. Again, it's kind of that Scott Snyderian idea there of Gotham being personified and seeing how it affects people, which I think is when the show hits its sweet spot. The idea that Gotham takes a toll on you.
If you stay in Gotham too long, it just sucks away your soul. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and I love how that connects to Jim Gordon's story, because that's absolutely what happens to Jim Gordon. Is that it's going to take a toll on him. That's why Gordon, he's a in the comics words, he's constantly he's chain smoking almost. That's why he's always worried, he's always stressed out, he's always trying to quit smoking because the Gotham takes its toll. And again, it's that symbolic idea, I guess, of Gotham's a make or break city, and if you overstay your welcome, bad stuff might happen to you. Or if you become much like the Dark City, if it holds up your worst nightmares, you become your worst nightmares. That sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And also, some of my again, I'm not going to try. I'm trying to distract us here, but I'll just say, Gordon. One of my an issue of the one. Sorry, there was a comic that really got me emotional where Gordon actually was killed off in a comic, and Gordon had lung cancer in that story. So again, it's kind of the idea of like kind of the air and the atmosphere, and something about Gotham kind of taking a toll on you. So I think there might be some some foreshadowing. Nothing we'll see in the show, but just some character truths in there. Anyway, so anyways, just my love fest aside. Sophia wants to go, wants to return to Gotham, but we have that great line that Falcone has: "You're not ready for Gotham." I love that line. You're not ready for Gotham.
Yeah. Dragon, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Sure. So Falcone again. We're on fire, Falcone. Falcone says, he loves the city, he loves Gotham, but he can't help it. And I love the fact that he would love to help, but he can't. He's just not in any physical condition to do so. He's done all he can for the city, and the city's just used him up. He's done. He can't. If he returns, he's gonna die. And he has had a chance to reconnect with his family when he's out of here. So there's no point in him returning to the city, no matter how much he loves it, no matter how much elbow grease he put into it. So. Again, an interesting place where we're starting off the down south story.
Like, yeah, kind of like there's kind of like an interesting finale to Falcone with this.
Yeah, and again, it's so interesting that in a show where we know basically the idea is Gotham's going to get more and more hopeless. And again, it's amazing they're pulling off as well as they have been. It's a show where you're banking on the city's going to get worse and worse each season to the point where we desperately need a Batman. And we're kind of there right now. We're kind of there where the old mob element is moving out of Gotham, and now the freaks and the supervillains are moving in. So Falcone has no place in Gotham anymore. Therefore, he's out of our story. The old way is literally dying off. That's interesting. Okay, so Alfred.
Yeah, Alfred's just kind of like chastising Bruce about the, about being so reckless.
As he's patching him up.
Damn it.
Classic Alfred. Yep.
No, I'm sorry.
So Alfred's patching Bruce up while he's chastising, which is kind of a nice little touch. Bruce is about to... Oh, yeah, so basically right after, Alfred's just giving the usual spiel. And I like that, Bruce is kind of vaguely apologetic. He's not apologizing for his actions, but he is thanking Alfred for patching up. And, of course, it's that sweet idea that Alfred's always going to be there to patch Bruce up no matter what, which is always kind of a sweet idea.
Mm-hmm.
And, Bruce, of course, Bruce gets up and he's about to go right back out again, which is...
Right, he's just like a drug addict, It's like, all right, time to go take another hit.
Yep, he's going out to find the manifest because he needs to find out what some of the big items were on that ship. He's mainly trying to find why did a thief try to steal something on that ship? What's worth stealing on that shipment?
So Alfred kind of suggests sort of like, no, Master B, I'm going to tell you the theme of the episode. There are other kind of masks you can wear. Ooh.
That's great. You're right, T. That's the great cell line of the episode in a moment right there. So we'll circle back to that with Bruce soon enough.
Dragon, I'm sorry, just so you know, I'm kind of experiencing some technical difficulties. So I'm in it as good as I can, man. So just kind of trying to hold us up here.
All right. So let's see. Meanwhile, Barbara, she's and this is cool here, right? Barbara's selling her guns, a little side business going on here. I love the demonstration bag, and again, it's kind of that. It's sort of like the elements we've got in previous seasons, with the Merc, with the giant kind of almost like a Costco for soup.
I wish we would bring back the Merc.
But this is an idea kind of like the Merc, where basically to demonstrate your guns. It's kind of like that scene from Breaking Bad with the twins, with the cousins. where they shoot the gun dealer to test out the vest here, and it's kind of a funny. It's a very similar notion here. It's kind of like a funny kind of hyper. Kind of that hyper criminal element in Gotham where, okay, we're going to test out the guns, shoot your own men. If they die, they're your own men. If not, then you've got a good product. So, yeah, it's really this kind of fun way of doing business in Gotham. It's kind of like in that same vein. So Selina returns empty-handed, and impressively and interestingly, Barbara is not mad at Selina, but doubts her abilities. Interestingly, she's down Selina's, and basically what she's trying to do is aspire Selina to be better, which is good management, you got to say, by doubting her abilities and it's an insult, but with like underlining compliment in there, like you proved me wrong type thing here. Where basically, she doubts her abilities, but maybe you can mop the floors to redeem yourself. Hey, I ain't mopping your floors, lady. That sort of thing. Okay, meanwhile, yes, the great Victor Zsasz. So, Zazzy's telling Zsasz. We have such a great gag with Zsasz coming up, oh boy. So Zsasz tells the Penguin about basically exposes the he's the robbery attempt. Basically, he tells him about the robbery attempt on the docks during the shipment. Basically, the big black. But we learned that the shipment the shipment, the big shipment that Bruce was looking into is actually items for the black market auction that Penguin's going to hold. And I tell you, T, I get excited when we have like an old-fashioned black market auction. It's always a good story when we have. Sometimes black market auctions are fun stories, especially in Batman.
I mean, it's like just good old-fashioned storytelling. You mean, you don't need any gimmicks. You don't need any super villains. It's just, it's very detective, like noir.
Yeah. Again, it feels. I know it's not exactly. It doesn't go down as in Maltese Falcon, but it feels kind of in that vein of like you can see Sidney Greenstreet holding a black market auction. I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's. You're absolutely right.
No, I get you.
So it's like a sophistication to crime, which I think fits the Penguin very well. He's having like an auction, but it's illegal items, illegally obtained items. So basically, Penguin tells Zsasz, okay, find out who's after it, and bring the stuff here for safekeeping. Basically, make sure no one else is gonna steal it. Basically, bring the items here for safekeeping. Just bring them directly here and find out who's trying to steal from us. Yeah. Meanwhile, Mystery Woman. So basically, they leave the scene, and then this Mystery Woman, she unfreezes Nigma, who's in the big iceberg here. And no, it's not Firefly. Initially, I was thinking, could it be Firefly? Then I'm thinking, could it be Ivy?
I thought it was Ivy at first.
I know. You're not alone. Me too. Ivy's kind of off the grid for a couple episodes, it would seem. Yes, so Mystery Woman unfreezes Nigma, and of course we enter the scene again after the commercial break. Penguin is horrified.
I of that too, by the way.
Yeah, I love how Penguin is. Robin Lord Taylor. I don't know what it is. When he yells, it's like he's got yelling down to a science almost. Just no, he's just so.
I want to head back here tonight.
He's just so upset that his the big reason he renamed the club, the Iceberg Lounge, has been melted, and his big prize, his big tourist trap, is now gone. His obsession embodied in the ice is gone. He's missing a piece of himself in a way. So new priority, Victor. Find Nigma, find who took him, and kill him. And of course, Zsasz has so many great lines this season, Tiki. He's getting all the good lines this season.
I know.
Where he says, I think it opens up the room a little. Oh, good. I love the bit where Penguin's clamoring for the head. I like that we're visually showing he needs the defeat of the Riddler is something that really fueled Penguin's kind of new approach. So he needs this victory. He wants to reclaim his victory. He wants to because this is power in Gotham. The fact that you froze one of the most notable super criminals that hit Gotham. Sure. It's a big power move, and like if people see it, it's like almost like the God bleeds mentality. It's like, oh my God, God can bleed. It's like take him down. So his symbol of victory and power is now gone. Meanwhile, the symbol of victory and power awakens. Nigma awakens.
Also, Dragon, I'd like to think that Penguin clutching the hat is sort of like Penguin sort of metaphorically passing on his literary odyssey to Riddler.
I know you caught it too, all right?
Because Riddler awakens and he is in Stephen King's Misery.
I know. So I'm so
right.
It's so funny that we, for the folks that may not be aware, it's just so funny. The Penguin,
you want to recap this really quick?
Real quick, it's simple. It's basically the Penguins arc, especially in season 2. Also, well, yeah, season 3, it was all season 2, I guess, all season 2. Since season 2, we've seen this. Penguins arcs have reflected great works of literature in a way. They've mirrored them. So let's see. We started with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with the Penguin. We did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and then we did Clockwork Orange when he was trying to rehabilitate himself. Then when he's with the family, he's with the Van Dahl family. It's become Cinderella.
Yep.
Then we did a bit of Psycho when he's thinking he's seeing ghosts. He's talking to it. More Bates Motel, but the book had the hallucination, so it counts. It's Psycho. So we also had Psycho the book, and now with Riddler we're doing Misery. So a lot of literary references we are pulling from it. Also there's a little bit of Great Gatsby. I don't have trouble speaking tonight. Yeah, a little bit of Great Gatsby we started this season off with.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of literature. So yes, and we have this funny to me. Jamie, we have an actress here. The actress, basically the actress who plays Riddler's #1 fan here, Myrtle, reminds me so much of Jamie Ray Newton, or is it Newman? Jamie Ray Newman from Bates Motel. Remember the least favorite element of season 4, Romero's ex-wife.
Oh God.
Basically, she looks like didn't she look a little familiar to you? Just even not knowing.
I tried to forget that woman. So.
She looks like Jamie Ray Newman's double to me. She looks so similar to her. I had to check. Like, oh my God, is it her? No, it's not. So we reveal that this woman is Myrtle Jenkins, who is basically Riddler's in a misery situation with a girl from grade school.
Yep.
who essentially, she's his #1 fan. She's been tracking his exploits. Basically, hey, I knew that guy in grade school. I'm going to obsess over him because now he's become something really important in Gotham. Yeah. What this really is to me, what I was kind of vibing on when I was first watching, it seems like we're homaging, and I think it's a clever thing if they're doing this intentionally. It's in the comics, Riddler had girl henchmen. He had a few girl sidekicks like this. They were kind of like he named them after like Quandary and question mark. It was always like a pun on question mark. It's gonna be, he had like these kind of vivacious kind of girl henchmen. I think this is kind of like a fun kind of homage to that, even though it's not really lasting as long as I really thought it was going to.
All right. So, anyways, this girl's kind of give him the exposition to Nigma. Like he was out for 5 months. Kind of shows him a newspaper clipping of the Iceberg Lounge with him as the centerpiece, which he is not happy about.
Yeah, Buck. I just love him learning what has happened in the 5 months. Also, by the way, just to establish it, so the reason it's Misery is because Riddler, after being unthawed, his nerves are still. It's not that he's frozen; it's that he's dealing with atrophy. It's basically like you're going to stay in a fixed position for 5 months. You're not going to be able walking like a spring chicken anytime soon. Basically, she has like these heat lamps thawing him out. Just basically, he needs time before he can walk again. That's essentially the. It's kind of like Kill Bill. Remember, she has to kind of like train the feet, that sort of thing. Let's see. Also, tell me this, Tiki. Did you get like a Batman Forever vibe in this scene, like the setting and here, like all the news clippings and all the all the Riddler kind of mock-ups and the dummies? And
maybe a little bit now that you mention it. Not so much in the moment.
2 connects with the Penguin. I really kind of took from this is one. He put the Penguin in the exact same situation when they really became friends. Because remember, he knocked the Penguin was wounded, and then they became friends after he dragged him to his apartment, and he woke up, injured.
That's true.
And also, there's a bit of the
That's
news
probably
clip.
More what they're going for more than our like bizarre like literary odyssey thing.
I mean, no, the bit with the Riddler, the literary odyssey, sure, yeah, that's us, that's all us. But the Misery thing has to be intentional. They have to be referencing Misery. Come on. But also the other thing is that in episode 2 of Gotham, the thing I really spent a lot of time on back when was Penguin had all these news clippings about him formulating his plan to take over Gotham. So I think it's like maybe a slight homage to all the news clippings around Nigma.
Could be.
Anyway. So yes, so basically we established all that with the Riddler. He's unfrozen and he can't move yet. So Bruce, oh my God, I love this so much.
All right, so he's pulling off a pretty convincing Boston accent. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not so convincing given how it plays out, but For me, I thought it was pretty good.
The giveaway is that I like this. I like they don't spell this out either. It's that the giveaway is that Bruce is too polite, even as the street kid. That's the thing. He doesn't. He sounds.
Yeah.
Bruce sounds like a street kid, but he does. He's far too polite. You know, he asks to come aboard. He doesn't just sneak on. That's where his mistake was. That's the rookie mistake. You know, Selena just would have done things without asking. That's the difference. But seriously, I was so I love, this is the thing I've been waiting to see in a Batman movie. Honestly, with Christian Bale, back when we had the Dark Knight trilogy, I've been dying to see Bruce Wayne go undercover. And again, this is the kind of stuff I'm living for. Like again, the animated series, we've been over this like episodes like The Forgotten, when he dressed up as the homeless guy, like Matches Malone. This is like we're building the pathway to him like taking on the name of Matches Malone and like all these other sorts of personas and undercover identities. And I just love that we're starting this here. It's like wrote my notes, yes, with an exclamation point. It's like, yeah, and he's looking. Of course, the line is that he's looking for his Uncle Al.
Oh God!
Looking for his Uncle Al on the ship. So basically, while he's on the ship, he's flipping through the manifest. He finds mentions, basically finds a little log thing of an embalming knife in a crate. Let's see. So then Bruce, basically while he's flipping through, he finds the embalming knife referenced, and Bruce is caught. Bruce, basically the thing that was trying to be stolen was the embalming knife.
If you want to play the part of a street kid, learn how to talk like a street kid.
So Bruce is caught. It's all over. Then Uncle Al shows up.
Oh God, this is priceless.
Yeah, so Alfred shows him. He's doing a really good American accent here. Alfred's again now. Tiki, I love that we finally did this here too. This episode this season has hit so many great Batman pulls for me. That Alfred is known in the Batman comics, and just the character of Alfred, he's known as being like he's a big acting buff. He loves going to the theater. Alfred actually is a trained actor.
Alfred basically like infused the theatricality and the method acting that is Batman into Bruce in this episode.
I know, and it's like so clever. I never thought it. I don't know if that's ever really been explored, like where that Alfred could have trained him for that. It makes so much sense. That Alfred's a trained actor. Why wouldn't he train Bruce in acting?
Right.
Anyway, so basically Alfred shows up, but the jig is up, and all the Alfred acknowledges that, yeah, well, it's his first time. Basically saying, well, we're beginning. He basically says, yeah, you're right about the street kid thing. And then he punches him, he knocks out the guys, and they make their exit. And of course, he imparts the wisdom of, it's all in the acting and improvisation, Master Bruce. Another good lesson another good lesson that he's imparting to Alfred, the ability to improvise. Because again, Bruce was committing to the character and not the situation. Because when he was caught, he was still committing to the same story instead of rolling.
Right, exactly.
I'm loving these Tiki. These are delicious breadcrumbs we're getting, man.
Well, at least they're not jelly beans. Because if they were jelly beans, then Harold would be eating them.
Yeah, we're getting it's like delicious candy corn and/or bread, depending on what season this is. So, meanwhile,
I was hungry.
So when you say it, Tiki, I'm thinking of the actual delivery. It's cracking me up. I was like, but I was hungry.
All right.
Anyway, Barbara.
Yes.
Want to take us through this one?
Oh boy, yeah. So she's talking to the Penguin, right? About kind of
She's trying to buy the knife before.
Kind of reserving the knife for her. Yeah.
And of course, Penguin. Again, bear in mind, I just want to remind the folks. It's been a while.
Yeah, these two have a not so friendly history with each other themselves.
The main thing being she led the double cross that ousted him from his empire for a while. So that was all Barbara. So that's a big reason why he's not giving Barbara. I mean, he's kind of playing it nice, enough. But he's still. That's why he's like not really letting her slide by, because again, she did take everything away from him. She worked that plan with Enigma in secret.
Mm-hmm.
So, so tries buying a knife, not going to fly. And basically, Penguin, I love, and this is like, we're embodying the Penguin so well here. Penguin's just, he's lording this thing over her head saying, look, I will let you buy the knife in advance if you tell me who your employer is. Because that's the one bit of information the Penguin wants to know. Who brought you back?
But I love how he's like genuinely interested in it and genuinely interested about what the employer wants with a knife. It's like he's like trying to fish for information.
I know, it's great. And then, of course, she won't say it. And he's so giddy over it, saying, man, he really has his hooks in you, whoever you're working for. Well, I'll see you at the auction. Make sure you bring your checkbook. It feels so Casablanca-esque to me. It feels like Sidney Green's. It feels like, the passports in Casablanca. It's like,
right.
again, it feels like kind of like Rick dealing with Peter Lorre or Rick dealing with a lot of Sidney Green. Yeah, big Sidney Green streak this episode. I don't know what it is. But anyway, very Casablanca-esque Penguin going on here. Anyway, Bruce. Bruce is, again, doing some research. Nice detective work going on here. Bruce is reading up on the knife. Now he has some information on basically involved. What's so special about it? Based on the information he did glean, he's kind of looking through the history books, the big kind of Wayne library. He finds it dates back to Mesopotamia, and then he discovers. And again, this is why they have to do a 2,000-year-old thing. I know, but it's anyway.
Right.
I mean, I get they want the knife. They want to go with kind of an Egyptian vibe. I get it. I mean, that's cool, but come on, 600 years. We get more. You have to be more creative when it's 600 instead of 2,000. You can do anything with 2,000. Anyway,
like I mean, I think on the contrary, that's probably why the writers went through it, is because you can do anything with 2,000.
Yeah, I know, because you can do a lot of people have done they've done Jonah Hex and Ra's al Ghul because he would date back to the Old West, and it's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so we discover Ra's al Ghul is in the book.
I'd personally love to see a Ghost Rider, like an Old West Ghost Rider Netflix show.
Tiki, I'm down for anything. Honestly, Netflix has their hooks into me. I mean, I'm down for almost anything.
Would you be down for Secret Agent Aunt May on Netflix?
Would we still have Sally Fields, or would it be Marissa Tomei? Who would it be?
I would say it would be Marissa Tomei, but like as a different character.
I'm gonna say nay, but I don't know. The next X-Men movie is kind of not selling me, so I don't know. Anyway, so New Mutants isn't quite selling me at the moment.
So how's Humans, Dragon?
Actually, it's kind of growing. I gotta be honest with you, it's kind of growing.
All right, fair enough.
So, anyways, back to the point here. So the point is, they uncover it's Ra's al Ghul. He's in the book. Basically, it's kind of a cool illustration, by the way. He's like emerging from the Lazarus pit, and like the knife is kind of hovering above him, like all angelic and stuff. And basically, again, I love the horror how Alfred and Bruce are kind of horrified and in shock, like, oh my god, it's Ra's al Ghul. And it means like this was done thousands of years ago. Mm-hmm. So basically, it's proven. I think they read somewhere it's like many lifetimes. The many lifetimes that Ra's al Ghul spoke of, like he alluded to in that scene with Bruce last season, is proven here. And in the book says, healed by the water. Like, Alfred was healed by the water, and like this, he's emerging from water. So, oh my God, Lazarus pit can bring him back to life and keep him alive for centuries.
What a twist!
Yeah. So. The point is, I like that there's no skepticism. They instantly buy into it. I like the when I do the run around of like, is he immortal? Is he not immortal?
Right. It's like, no, he's pretty immortal.
Yeah, sometimes they do that with race, especially Arrow. They kind of flirt with the idea. They committed though. To be fair, they committed. They didn't drag it out too long. It's just when they introduced. Anyway, sorry. Okay, Jim calls Bullock, and by the way, I'm pretty sure. I'm saying his name right. Donald Logue, the actor portrays Bullock. I want to say he's like on leave or he's doing another project because basically for a couple episodes he might be on sabbatical for reason. I know we see him at the end of this episode, but I'm saying I think he's on leave for a couple of these episodes this season. Always, that's why we have kind of a phone conversation going on here too. Probably why we don't cut back to Bullock a couple times instead we have to use him sparingly maybe.
Right.
So, I know we get an episode where we don't see him. So Jim's calling Bullock, who was glad that part of him is really glad that Falcon's not coming back because it could lead to a gang war.
I don't like when the streets are bloody, Jim.
Let's see. So then Jim, after the phone call, he is joined by Sophia. He's joined by Sophia, and they have a conversation about. They have a nice little conversation about
what I'm saying, man. Like I don't know, I'm assuming that Sophia has ulterior motives here, but
she has ulterior motives.
What?
Well, we know she has ulterior motives.
Yeah, right. So that's why it's like I'm not 100% thrown off by it, but to me, it's more the fact that Jim isn't more skeptical of her.
No, I think he's skeptical enough. Well, I mean, we know he's going to be skeptical. So I don't know. I guess that's why I'm not bothered by it. But I don't know. We'll see. So they have a conversation. I like this where basically Jim's kind of saying, he always respected Falcon, which I think is genuine. He always did have a lot of respect for Falcon. Again, he'd rather have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was worried how they were going to approach this. By the way, this whole Falcone plot point. But I'd say I've been sold on it. You know, it's different enough from the Penguin stuff. The idea of Falcone wouldn't necessarily have to kill anyone to run the city, versus Penguin, who to kill to make people afraid. And of course, the whole he's profiting off the city where Falcone wants to preserve the city. That's where the line's drawn. That was like my fears. Like it was just going to be one gangster for another. But there's a significant difference. That's what they're going for. Anyway, so. Anyways, let's see. So while Falcone was basically, Sophia's kind of reflecting on her father, saying, back in when he was running Gotham, he was busy, but now, they've been growing closer. She really wants to honor her father with Gotham. She kind of draws. She doesn't really say that out the gate. I'm just saying we kind of laid the seeds for that, and then she points out that she was sent out of Gotham at the age of 13. So eventually she was born of Gotham, but she was sent out of it. So that's why she's kind of she's in that kind of.
She's been living on this island, right?
Well, I mean, she's in Spain or wherever the down south location is. She's been here for years, since she was 13, and she spent time with Mario. So Mario was down here for.
So basically, she's been chilling on the Coppola winery this whole time.
Essentially, yes. And it's funny too, because this just does track. Because remember, Mario was instructed to stay out of the family business. Falcone swore to his wife that he'd keep the kids out of the business, and he did. To be fair, he did keep them out of the business.
Nice basically a winery setting. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep harping on it, but like a lush Spanish vineyard setting is a lot nicer to raise your kids in than a Gotham City.
Is there actually a winery there? Or you just keep saying winery. But did I miss a winery?
No, there is actually a Francis Ford Coppola.
No, not. I mean, I know. I meant Falcone. Does Falcone have a winery?
It looks like there's vineyards. I might have to go and double check, but it looks like a place that would have vineyards. I don't know.
I thought I might have missed a line you picked up on. That's why you keep mentioning the winery, because that's great, though. I love the winery call. I do.
No, I keep mentioning the winery because, honest to God, look up the Francis Ford Coppola winery. It looks just like this place. So
really, it's that dead.
It's pretty uncanny.
Wow, I gotta look into that.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's see. So, Jim apologizes for Marty. And this is a really nice scene. This to me is like what kind of sets apart. Like it's like them kind of apologizing for all the Lee stuff last season in a way. This is like how you handle that sort of thing with Mario, where basically Jim apologizes for what happened to Mario, and then this is a scene that's really winning me over on Sophia here, where she forgives him. She forgives Jim and understands, it was the virus. You did what you had to do. And again, that did what you had to do mentality. It's like, I think she's playing into that element of darkness in Jim's history where, she's forgiving him for a dark action. Jim was looking for forgiveness, with the stuff with Mario, with Lee, and Lee denied him that forgiveness. And, she's giving it to him, which is why Jim is trusting her.
I mean, I'm not going to instantly be completely won over on her for that, but I'll say it's a step in the right direction.
That's fair. Anyway, so
saying, writing wise, that's probably about the only way you could have played this to make it work.
Well, I'm just saying, I think we're taking some nice baby steps into getting Jim and Sophia there. Anyway, so meanwhile, Zaz suspects it was an inside job. One of the staff, essentially, Myrtle worked at the Iceberg Lounge, and that's how she scouted out the place. She planned the whole escape plan for Enigma. She had to work there for a while. So the point is, Zaz is on the trail. Meanwhile, Enigma awakens to acupuncture, and we have a really cool we have some really cool shots coming. This episode is really well directed, by the way. I know I'm kind of burying the lead. It's kind of late into the episode, but you can think they're a really excellent job directing this episode.
I mean, you are right with the whole the Batman Forever quality to it. It's sort of like, how we always say this is like 60s, like gritty 60s Batman? This episode feels like gritty Batman Forever in a way.
Yeah, it does really work. It's kind of interesting because Schumacher wanted to do a Batman Year One movie. Really did.
I'm glad that didn't happen, but moving on.
No, I mean before. No, but I'm saying before he won the campy direction. Initially, he wanted to do Year One. Then they I don't know.
Okay, I gotcha. I don't know, like Lost Boys era Schumacher Year One could have worked. Who knows?
I know what I'm saying, remember, there was a lot of studio stuff too that kind of brought us to the Schumacher place. Let's not forget that. So, anyway, so Enigma awakens to acupuncture and basically the cosplay of a sidekick.
Oh God!
the Riddlette, and again, like I think his hench girls' names in the comics are like Echo and Query. You know, again, stuff like more kind of question puns. Again, the Riddlette just I think that has to feed into the sidekick thing a little bit.
I think that rehashing someone else's idea isn't very original. It's so much, and I thought you'd like it.
So at
this point, Riddler is kind of like getting into like the Stephen King, like, oh, yeah. I'm screwed. He's like, it's very nice.
Yeah, he's playing along to the antics. So yeah, Enigma's playing along. She mentions that she planned to escape for months, which vaguely impresses me. I love how just impetuous and just how once Enigma kind of settles in, he plays along. He's so entitled. It's just the ego of the Riddler at work, and I think it's kind of funny. Enigma, basically.
Well, I will admit it was slightly impressive that you were able to outwit Oswald.
Yep, and basically Enigma then takes her down by saying, "Yeah, it would have taken me seconds, though." So let's see. So anyway, she's eager to learn. Basically, she's eager to learn at the feet of the master, essentially, from the Riddler. She's eager to learn from him. But Riddler, in this, I thought was an interesting plot. I'm really excited to see where this goes. Riddler is off his game this season after being unfrozen. We saw
makes sense from a physical and biological point of view.
It does, and it's kind of consistent. I know it's not the exact same thing, but it is consistent what we've seen in Gotham. People are unfrozen or brought back using the back in season 2, the unfreezing process that brought people back to life. Mm-hmm. Then Hugo Strange, how we brought. I know Nick wasn't brought back to life. But the fact the unfreezing process does have some consequence. So, because we never unfroze anyone, we brought him back, and that was kind of we brought him back using the chemicals. It was kind of an iffy thing. So, the question mark soup. So while Riddler's off his game, he's just kind of playing it off. He's kind
of little question mark tomatoes in it, and this girl is kind of like a Riddler Harley Quinn, especially in that moment. I thought.
Oh yeah, just
with the question mark tomatoes.
Just the question mark little soup with little question marks in it. That is so adorable. I hope they make that. If they haven't made that by now, they've got to make that at some point. Question mark soup. You imagine there's some sort of fan company that's going to make question mark soup. Anyway, they make socks for goodness sake. And they go why not soup? Anyway. Oh, so then we continue with the Riddler story. We have that. These are the shots I'm talking about. We have that cool kind of blood needle shot. You know, like all the acupuncture needles, and it's like kind of this cool trippy up close shot. Let's see. So basically, then she's testing him with riddles, and this is interesting. I love how Tegan. This is fitting. This feeds in like a good Riddler right here. Is that I love that the Riddler gets really excited when you challenge him, when you excite the Riddler. So he gets he's just kind of stuck in this situation. He says, "I've been nursing the wrong muscle. I gotta nurse your brain." I mean, basically, yes, I'm really so desperate. He's so ecstatic to hear riddles.
Again, it's like a drug addict who needs his fix.
Yes. Anyway, so basically she's giving these riddles, and just to boil it down,
what's black and white and red all over, which is like one of the most simple newspaper riddles ever.
Yeah. Well, what do you say? It's like a penguin, or no, not was it a polar bear with like a hole in it? Something black and white with a hole in it, which was not remotely close because it's a newspaper. You can't. And newspapers aren't red. Well, no. If you actually look at this, you're like, give me another. So, again, this is fascinating. We've never seen
the idea that the Riddler is like pissed off by like common day riddles that don't make sense by his logic.
And I think it's the idea, and he's lost his mojo, and he's come back crazier. It would seem that again, all his answers to his riddles are more psychotic than ever.
Right.
Now are they wrong? They are psychotic and wrong. So, yeah. So let's see. So it kind of feeds in this idea that he's outsmarted in the aftermath of him being. It's less the fact that he got frozen. Tegan. Again, this would be something that we gotta see how they work this out. If they explain it, they don't have to, but it's interesting things that. Maybe it's not the fact that he was frozen that has thrown him off his game mentally. Perhaps it is just again the fact that he's in one place and not able to do anything. That's what I mean by the freeze.
I mean that's kind of more. I think it's more just the isolation. You know what I mean? The losing the 5 months.
Well, sure. I mean that's what I mean by I mean the isolation by the freezing. But regardless, I'm saying if it's not the freezing, what is the fact that remember right before he was frozen, Penguin outsmarted him. Maybe that's what's taking him off his game.
Could be.
I mean, that's something maybe to explore. We'll see if they do anything with that. Either way, point, yes, he's off his game. And then he has this great line: "Bring me a riddle worthy of my name." He's so entitled, and again, even though he's just so frustrated that he's not getting him right, he knows he's not getting him right, but he's saving face. And again, he's returning even crazier than ever. So, here's a nice scene. This to me is just it's just kind of a charming scene to me. Basically, Jim and Sophia are walking on the beach, and this is where they're winning me over on the relationship in the episode. This is where, like, again,
I don't think it's a little rushed.
I don't. Tiki, here's the thing. I would agree with you that it's rushed, but I think it's so well executed. It kind of sold me on it. That's where I'm. This scene to me, I think, is really well executed.
All right, that makes one of us.
So yeah, that's where I am with it. I'll admit, I mean, it does go by.
Contrarian asshole, but like I really wasn't buying it.
Well, it's not like you're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy or anything.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm amazed how you changed your opinions on that, by the way. But let's not dwell on it. Well, later.
Okay,
Anyway.
to be fair, I changed it. Monsters After Dark is the versions of Guardians of the Galaxy I really like.
All right.
My opinions of the Mission Breakout are what you see in the video. So, to be fair.
Okay. Anyway. So, so let's see. So, yeah, I just love that this scene's executed. Again, it feels like we have like kind of an old movie quality about this Jim and Sophia relationship that really is winning me over. And we have a great love theme with them, too, which just really sounds really nice. Where basically Jim and Sophia, they're walking on the beach. She's questioning Jim. Do you ever think about walking away from it all? And this, to me, is kind of hitting a really nice core that Gordon can't leave Gotham because it is in his blood. Essentially, like I can't leave. It's in my blood. It was his father was stood up for Gotham, which of course we've seen. Again, I like that we're finally paying off all the father stuff after season 3. Dealing with Peter Gordon, all the death and everything. And again, very Snyder-like that, Jim, he did some corrupt actions at the beginning of season 2, and it means, the whole Galavan affair. He can't leave Gotham. He's like landlocked to it. He's trying to balance out, bad stuff that he's stuck in Gotham no matter what. For thick or thin, He can't leave Gotham. That's a great thing we're going to hit upon here. Let's see. We have this. Basically, it's kind of a nice thing. Jim gets perspective in this episode. He gets some perspective with with Sophia. It seems to me, and we have this kind of another great legacy case in Sophia. Who again, Sophia Gotham is her legacy. It's her family's legacy, where it's kind of Gordon's landlocked to it in service of Gotham, and she is kind of in possession of Gotham almost. I find some chemistry thematically with them. I kind of found some. There's definitely physical chemistry.
Like thematically, I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, it would be more. I'd buy it more if these two shared more than 2 scenes together before this.
I'm definitely getting a physical attraction, though. I mean, I think that's what they're.
And again, that's kind of what I'm worried about, considering the Valerie Vale of it all.
Yeah, Tiki, I'll address that. And the only problem with Valerie is that she was taken out of the game, but that worked well, though. That did work well, though, before she was taken out of the equation.
Yeah, but I guess that's what I'm worried about with Sophia. Is like I don't want to get too attached to her because it feels like this is like a storyline character, not like a long-term character. That's why I can't really buy that she's going to be attached to Gordon like long-term.
Well, I mean, regardless, I think she's going to be a big fixture of the season. So I think she'll be a long-term character. Whether it's going to be a long-term relationship, I can't speak. And Diggy, I want to make clear, Diggy, all your points are absolutely valid, and we have to wait and see on it. But I also I think it's an intentional kind of just like on a. It's like an instinctual attraction almost. Again, they're not really getting to know each other quite yet. I mean, we're starting to do that, but we're not personally getting to know each other yet. And I think that's, so I like the physical attraction of all things. What they are kind of hitting right here. I think it's, we have this bit here. It really is great here. Where last time Jim can't remember the last time he just stood there in the moment. Then takes him back to that issue I was talking about, the Death of Jim Gordon issue, that one comic, and they have that great moment in Gordon's last moments where he kind of stands there and enjoys kind of the beauty of what he's trying to protect. And it's really a great moment. So they're not pulling from that, but it's like that we're kind of doing something like that with Gordon here, which is kind of not in the chaos of Gotham, and he kind of appreciate kind of peace for a moment, which is kind of
right.
Nice. I forget if is the kiss here or is that later?
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah, and again, they kiss Zero, and they have the beautiful theme. I'm dying for that theme, man. I love that kind of. It's like there's a lot of passion in the relationship. But there's not really kind of a connective, personal touch yet, but it's passion. So, meanwhile, Alfred and Bruce. Alfred and Bruce are preparing for the auction. Bruce and Oswald, I gotta tell you, Robin Lord Taylor and David Mazouz, they're dressing so sharp this
season. Oh, man, and these two are just on fire. I mean, look at the screenshot I chose here. It's just, they are having so much fun.
I'm so glad we're getting there, but I love these two. One, they're the best dressed characters this season because they have new suits every time we see them, and they're looking really great this season, and they're interacting so well this season. But we have this beautiful moment before we get to that scene where Alfred and Bruce, they're preparing for the auction. Alfred tells him that he needs another kind of mask, and again, we get another great thing of Bruce Wayne. Oh God, it's like you have to take on other roles. You have to take on other roles, and basically takes on the role of billionaire brat. Which
this is like one of the best time gags I have ever seen in Gotham. I think just the timing on this is just so well done.
Oh God, it's so funny. Just basically in the middle of a Mazouz is having a blast. We just cut the Bruce kind of like buying.
Well, first of all, I love how Alfred is kind of in the middle of like, you play the role you want to play, and Bruce is like behave like a spoiled brat. Yes, he goes against everything your beautiful parents tried to ingrain in you, but well,
that line got me kind of emotional. By the way, just everything your beautiful parents instilled in you, like that's such a beautiful.
And then Bruce Wayne, he's just like Bruce Wayne, billionaire brat, and then cut Dragon. What do we see?
Bruce, this Mazouz is he's having such. Bruce is having a blast hamming it up as the billionaire. You're like, I forget what the amount is, but basically it's
$250,000.
$250,000 for a painting for a painting. I'm going to put it in my bathroom. I'll admit, I think they pushed it a little much. It's intentional, so I'm not holding anything against it. I'm just like, maybe we should.
Like you said, I think it's intentionally cartoony, and I think it works for the moment.
I love that he's hamming it up, and I love we're kind of doing the billionaire playboy side of Bruce Wayne here with billionaire Brett is kind of another the younger version of that because can't quite be dating women.
Like this is the levity that was sorely missing from Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean?
We got most of that levity in Begins. After that, we really kind of it was more tongue-in-cheek, and we took a lot of that away in Rises.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and basically, as the movies went on, they kind of sparingly took the humor out for Bruce Wayne. The Bruce Wayne persona, because it kind of became more Batman than Bruce Wayne. Anyway. So Mazouz having a heck of a time hamming it up.
Oswald, my friend! Which might be the line of the episode.
I'm sorry, I just don't want so much. Oswald, I have in my notes. Oswald.
He's just so excited.
Oh God! What's so funny? This is why it makes so much sense. It's such a great thing to have this season. Oswald and Bruce hitting it off so well, and I won't hit you with all these other great examples of Bruce and Oswald.
Basically, it's like.
It's everything that
Penguin is like replacing Bruce Wayne as his best friend after Gordon.
I know. Here's the thing. That's it. Bruce Wayne is everything that he wanted a friend. Basically, everything he wanted Jim Gordon to be as a friend is what he has with Bruce Wayne. And of course, it's a lie. It's everything he wants in a friend is Bruce Wayne.
It's beautiful. It really is.
It's oh God! I've seen some fun dynamics with Bruce and the Penguin. This one is it's on my top. It is really fun. But again, it's finally great we got these two guys together. It's a lot of fun. So, anyways,
your insanely large bank account are more than welcome here.
They're so chummy. Anyway, so basically, kind of boil it down here. So basically, there's a bidding war. Bruce enters a bidding war with Barbara, and again, and I like the Alfred's kind of commending him on the whole, clever idea. Basically, Bruce had improvised and buying, trying not to buy everything at the auction. Well, I need to buy more things so I don't isolate myself buying the knife.
I love how Bruce is playing it stupid with the auction too, where he's like Barbara bids $100,000, he bids $100,000 and won.
I gotta tell you, that's like the thing I would, if it were me, I would have stripped the and one after. I would have stripped out the and one. That's a little. That's pushing it for me. That's like, come on.
I thought it worked.
Yeah, that's just like the taste thing. I'm not saying it's a problem. It's just like, it's like he's and won again and again and again and won.
What do you think of $300,000 and 1 cent?
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's like, come on, 1 cent. That's where he's overplaying his hand to me. That's where he's trying to. Because that's the thing. Now he has Barbara on his case because he overplayed, and I think that's Bruce making early mistakes. I think it's him figuring it out. So
I think that's intentional, though. It's supposed to be written as an early mistake.
You're right. It is. It's just a little on the nose, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So, so basically, he outbids Barbara with $2 million. $2 million, and I love how ecstatic Penguin is as he runs over.
$2 million sold to Mr. Bruce Wayne.
Just the fact that Penguin wants to see Barbara squirm, he likes Bruce Wayne. It's like favoring the high roller at the casino. Essentially, that's what he's doing here. It's just like selling to Bruce Wayne, and I like that Oswald's cultivating in his mind. He's cultivating a friendship with Bruce Wayne. Like, hey, watch out for Miss Keene. You've made an enemy here, Miss Keene. I'd be careful with that knife if I were you. So he gives a little heads up. Meanwhile. So yes, we have the frog in the blender of it all here, where Enigma again gets a riddle wrong, and basically, Myrtle is hitting with the riddle, which is I forget what the riddle was. The answer was actually it's frog in a blender, but
green and red and goes round and round.
Yeah, that's the one.
Which is a pretty morbid riddle when you think about it.
It is. So Enigma gets the answer wrong, and she is completely disillusioned, basically revealing, and I love how pain the Riddler is for a moment.
It's just a bunch of cock-a-doodie riddles.
Yes, and I love how it kind of hurts Enigma to realize, no, that children's riddles. Oh god! Basically, she's disillusioned in her hero now, saying, "Yeah, son, your brain doesn't work right anymore." And then we have the misery twist here, with the book hit instead of the typewriter hit. Basically, hits her, and then basically reveals that, hey, I can move now. And I think where we're going with the Riddler is, he's rebooting himself with as a villain, with villainy, and basically that'll kind of take him back to the master planner again.
After all the Penguin drama, I think.
That's the thing. It's like his mind, like a computer, is rebooting over time. So he's going to have to kind of walk his paces again before he gets back to the master planner. We're going to see some failed attempts at that. It's going to be kind of funny. So, Selina. Want to take us through Selina?
Yeah, let me see. Let's see. Yeah, so she's talking with Bruce.
Who was waiting for Raish, by the way. Nice little bit there. Him waiting for Raish.
So, essentially Barbara sent Selina for the knife because she knew that Bruce was going to be able to just, give it up. Selina's kind of stressing that it's a dangerous client, and if Bruce was smart, he'd hand it over. Let me see. Then Bruce is kind of questioning Selina, like, so you're really Barbara Keane's errand girl now?
Yeah. And again, they're kind of where they're parting ways on their year one kind of journeys right now. Again, Selina's trying to make a name for herself with Barbara, and of course, Bruce kind of spoken out against Barbara before. Now, Bruce refuses to help Selina for the greater goal of defeating Ra's al Ghul, because he knows if I give this knife to Selina, she's going to be in the crosshairs of Ra's al Ghul. And I think Bruce, he doesn't know, but he suspects that Barbara might be working for Ra's al Ghul. He suspects it with what she says in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
So. Let's see. So next scene, Jim. So Jim returns again. We do have Bullock here. So I don't know how much of it. I noticed that he's the actor.
You get a really awkward introduction to a new character.
Well, this character absolutely is. This has to be like the new Montoya, like the new actual Renee Montoya. Because this character so far feels like real Renee Montoya. Let's see, Detective Harper. Which as much as I love to think it was a reference
I know.
Yeah, Harper Row.
Have you seen the new trailer? It looks amazing.
Trailer for what?
Stranger Things.
Oh, no, I haven't seen the new trailer. No, I was done with Harper Row. Remember from the Snyder books?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I thought you were thinking of Detective Harper from Stranger Things.
That's Hopper TV.
Oh, you're right. It is.
Well, Sheriff Hopper. It's not even Detective. Yes.
It's been a while.
Anyway, so yes, Jim returns. He's introduced to a new character, Harper.
Like I said, I think this is just like a really rushed, awkward introduction to a new character. Like Bullock's just Jim, I want you to meet Detective Harper.
Yeah, I wonder what they have in the works for her. If they're why it's such. It has to be rushed for a reason. Like we need her for something. We got to just work her into an early
Could it just
episode.
be that Donald Logue is on the leave and they need her to like interact with Jim?
I don't think that's far off, Tig. I think you actually might be on the money with that. But
Okay.
I think a couple episodes down will kind of make that clear. So.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, yeah, so Sophia then appears. Sophia Falcone appears. She says she's here to help Jim. Of course, Jim, and this is what I'm talking about. Jim is wary of her help. I mean, there's an attraction between the two of them, but he knows, like, one, I think it's partly he wants to honor Falcone's wishes, but at the same time, it's that he might have, if she's really this ambitious that she's showing up here on her accord, she might have like a kind of a penguin-like agenda on the horizon, so he can't fully trust her because he knows what he's getting with Falcone. He doesn't know what he's getting with the ambitious daughter. So I think there's a healthy level of distrust. But again, I think what they're saying, I think the reason I think they're addressing it being rushed with the fact that it's like there's like a physical chemistry there. Again, I wish I had a better word for. I don't know. I can't think of the better word for it. It's like there's like a lightning strike.
I get what you're saying. It's like physically the attraction's there, but like on a trust level, it's not quite there yet.
Like Jim is drawn to her because she's feeding into a control that he is lacking with the Penguin right now. He's lacking control in Gotham, and that's kind of what Sophia is offering him in the scene. Actually, so to make it on point, Sophia is she basically points out to him, like, hey, I ran the South, while my father was away. I ran that place down there when I was growing up for 10 years, essentially. Ever since I grew up, I've been running that place. I've been running kind of the vineyard. Let's just call it the vineyard because we have no name for it. I've been running the vineyard for 10 years. I think that was going down. I have experience here. And again, I think Jim's definitely intimidated by her cunning. In this case, he's kind of intimidated by the fact that she's a kind of worm. And again, he's questioning how much of it you would attract me just to bait me, or how much it was real. And she's kind of saying, well, again, it is somewhat real. So, point is, she's there whether Jim likes it or not. So, meanwhile, Penguin is told about. Basically, they find Penguin and Zaz have Myrtle finally, and now Penguin is informed that Nigma's brain is no longer working. We have that gag with Zaz, Tiki.
But let me see.
Give him the blender riddle again.
The blender riddle is what's green and red and I don't know, man.
Green and red and goes round and round.
I'm not on my A game when it comes to the notes. I'm sorry.
Anyways, so Zaz just interjects with frog and blender. Zaz gets it.
Yeah, you're right. Zaz is just like so excited about it.
Yeah. Anyway, so Penguin now is a bit of innovation. Yeah, Nigma was in full control. He probably would have killed you instead of just knocking you out and leaving. So Penguin is armed with some dangerous information.
First, when I first saw the scene, I thought she was dead. I must admit.
Yeah,
mostly just because I would stick to like Nigma's serial killer and
Yeah, but again, I like that we kind of call him on that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Penguin frustrates. Okay, well have fun, Victor.
All right.
I love your dress. I made it myself. He just shoots her point blank.
Yeah, Dazzle. He'll pay you a compliment before he kills you. He's nice like that.
And so Nigma is wandering the streets, and he happens upon an Iceberg Lounge poster that is basically, "Hey, come see Edward Nigma frozen in the Iceberg Lounge."
Come see the idiot that got frozen by his former best friend.
That's great. So then we have our final reveal here. By the way, I called this absolutely. I called this. So
I thought our theory was more Court of Owls.
Well, no, I mean we know where we get. No, your theory was Court of Owls. Mine was Raish.
Okay, I guess so. Right.
So, but then we kind of revealed, of course, Court of Owls does connect to Raish. It's kind of the same theory. I think that's where we.
That's true. That's true.
The point is, so we basically reveal Raish al Ghul enters Barbara's place, and initially, she's all right. They have like kind of a mini fight scene here where we see that she's actually she's now she has new skills. Barbara now has some new skills after emerging from the pit, which I absolutely call, which is why I think she's actually sane. See, the pit a lot of the times, when an insane person goes inside the Lazarus pit, they come out sane. I think Barbara was insane. She went.
I could see that.
And of course, it kind of explains the hair a little bit too. He's always kind of something's off. There's something different in design when you come out of the pit a lot of the time. So, Raish is, she informs him the bad news, but she's expecting kind of more stick
I
from
love how
carrot here.
Raish
But
is just like super intrigued by the fact that Bruce has the knife.
I know, and this is the classic
Like
thing.
that's probably better news than Barbara having the knife.
The thing I'm looking so forward to, Tiki. I'm waiting. I'm desperate for the moment. It has to come this season, where Raish calls him detective. I'm so looking forward to when
right.
Oh god, I can't wait for him to call him detective. So yes, Raish is impressed in Bruce's ability in getting the knife away from his disciple, and importantly, again, they say Bruce the knife in one place, so it's basically things worked out well enough. So Raish is not mad, and he basically Barbara kind of underestimates the knife here for a moment. He says, "No, that's where you're wrong. The knife is very important. It is key to everything."
Mm-hmm.
And we have a moment that, again, it doesn't kill the episode by any stretch. It's just really.
I just have written down in my notes, Bab starts making out with Raish, because that's just what we need on the show.
It's like the two nitpicks I have with this episode. Again, the 600-year thing, like, the 2000 instead of 600, which is very minor. But in this case, this one is.
Yeah, this is a little much, right?
It comes out of nowhere until I read it. Anywhere. It's just, why?
Okay, I will admit, for all the nitpicks I have with the Gordon and Sophia thing, that's handled much better than this.
That's what I'm saying. At least you can see where it might be going, right? But in this case, it's just like kind of random. It's like a random.
The fact that Raish is 2,000 years old does not make this any more comfortable.
Yeah, well, he does look remarkably good for his age. You got to give him that.
I'm just saying, though, semantically, it doesn't help.
Anyway, so yeah, it's kind of a random ending, but on the whole, what did you think of the episode?
I mean, on the whole, the thing that I really took away from it is like, wow, that David Mizzou kid is like really going to bat.
Literally.
Yeah, I mean, just seriously, like all the Bruce Wayne stuff in this episode was fantastic. The Gordon stuff I was fine with. Like I said, I'm kind of skeptical. And like you said, my reservations are kind of founded based on the past. So we'll just see where it goes. And the Penguin stuff and the Riddler stuff is all fun, all fine, But yeah, definitely I think the standout so far in this episode and in the season in general is all the Alfred and Bruce stuff. I mean, that's just continuing to be the highlight of the season for sure.
Yeah, just real quick on the whole. I mean, I really like the episode. Again, we're kind of. I love the kind of the ideas with the Falcone story. I think it's a really good setup for the Falcone stuff. Again, more on the fact Falcone's dying, and we're introducing kind of Sophia and Gordon's stuff. But what I'm loving more so is, of course, just all the, as Tiki said, all the Bruce and stuff. Again, all the Bruce stuff that is just eclipsing. Not eclipsing, that is so consistent with kind of the classic Batman. We're seeing kind of the origins of a lot of these ideas, and we're adding some really great logic to it, like where these kind of these landmarks of Batman are coming from, like where the undercover work's coming from, how Alfred would factor into it. We get to see kind of the early vigilantes, and we get to see the origins of all. Like, again, I like that the episode's title really does. Again, so Gotham is sometimes
it's a great title. It really
Gotham has sometimes been infamous for episodes that titles do not match up at all.
Right, yeah.
Like
Harvey Dent. Oh God, poor Harvey Dent.
Poor Harvey Dent, or oh god, it's poor Harvey Dent. Anyway, that's just on the whole. So again,
remember Arkham? Arkham essentially ended up being like wasn't that like on a piece of paper or something? Like it was part of the bill. And
yeah, it was like it had the exterior of Arkham, and it was on like a board, like the plans for Arkham City.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, on the whole, I'm loving seeing the kind of the beginnings of a lot of this stuff here. Again, the episode made a lot of sense. Like the mask theme was really cool. Like kind of the different sorts of masks that you wear. All the different ways kind of Bruce can present himself, and again, kind of like hinting at some kind of destinies for not only Bruce but a little bit of Gordon with the Falcone stuff. So again, I really love the episode. I really love how it was executed. I thought it was really well directed. We have some really interesting stuff being built on with the Riddler. I'm really excited to see how it pans out. Again, as much as I'm ranting about the 600-year thing, it's minor. It's different. I gotta get used to it. It's different. This is like the first time it's ever really been done. And The ending's a little random, but yeah, although it's a very solid episode. I'm really happy with it.
All right, take us out, Dragon.
So remember, kids, no matter how dark and scary the world may be right now, there will be light. There will be light.
Until next time, when we go exploring Gotham yet again.
Oswald, my friend!
My friend!